Okay. This one is called Good Boy. It's my birthday today. Whoa. That was a little disorienting, but I like this art style. E to interact with objects. It's a picture of me. Oh, I am, Alright. I don't appear to have a face, but that's cool. Hi, kitty. Hi, Mr. Mittens. Oh, the cat meows when I pet it. An old toy box. An old toy box gifted to me by Grandma. Okay. Not a good boy. I threw my toys everywhere. Aw. It's my birthday today. Oh, it's in October. How fun. A bookshelf full of stories that Grandma reads to me. Is there more to that? No. Oops, did I block my exit from this room? I may have. But they just kind of pop around like popcorn, so I think I'm probably, yeah, I'm okay. It's a picture of me. I thought that was the painting, but it was just the lamp. Let's see what's down here. Oh, hello. There's my sleepy birthday boy. Got all tuckered out playing with the cat this morning, didn't you? Yep, you caught me. Why don't you stay in here and play while I go finish your special birthday dinner? I'll call for you when it's done. Okay. Bye. Another cat. Hi, Twinkle Toes. Picture of Grandma? Oh. Oh dear. I think something might be wrong with Grandma. Grandma don't look quite right. Books Mom likes to read. Gardening and cookbooks mostly. It's a picture of me. Alright, so they're only pictures of me. Except for the ones I draw, which are all fucked up. A picture I drew of Mr. Twinkles. A picture of me and Mom. Okay, that one's normal. A picture I drew of Mr. Mittens. I don't think your cats have all their feet in those pictures. I don't feel like watching TV. I always feel like watching TV. Oh, birthday boy, your dinner's almost ready. Why don't you go get Grandma and tell her so she doesn't miss you blowing out any candles? Do I have to? I kind of just want cake. It won't let me in. I have to. Oh, I don't I don't think that was read before. I'm I'm not sure I want to go get Grandma. It's a picture of me, a picture of me, a picture of me. There's a lot of pictures of me in this house. There are not that many pictures of me in my own house. The lamp appears to be on even though it's not plugged in. I like your spooky pumpkin. Grandma, your wallpaper looks awful. Who is it? Hello? Oh my. I want out. I can't leave. It's my good boy. They're my good boy. Let me out. Oh God, Grandma, no! Can I just leave? Nope. Oh God, I have to go talk to this thing. My good boy. It's your birthday, isn't it? You know how Grandma loves your birthday. I've left you a present in the hall, my good boy. Go get it. I don't know if I want it, Grandma. I do want to leave, though, so thank you for opening the door. Oh! Why does it have a heartbeat? I don't really care. I want to go get my birthday cake. I don't want to do. Oh, no. Grandma, what did you do? I'm not going to kill the cat if that's what you're trying to make me do. I'm not going to do it. I want to go to bed. I don't like this. No! Grandma's trying to make me kill the cat. I don't like Grandma anymore. Yeah, they are kind of hard to read, so if I'm reading too fast or anything, let me know. Some of them have been disappearing, like, before they actually finish. Alright, I killed Grandma instead of the cat. I don't know if that's what I was supposed to do, but I did not feel like stabbing a cat to death. Uh-oh. Maybe, I guess that's not what I was supposed to do? Oh, crap. Do you think this is over? No? I'm guessing not? You merely struck down the puppet, not its master. Okay. And now I need a new puppet. I'm a boy. I'm a good boy. I'm not a puppet. Let me out. I'm just a little boy. I don't want to be a puppet. I'm a real boy. Oh my God. Oh God. I got eaten by a void. The heartbeat doesn't sound right anymore. Ending 2 of 3. Oh, so there's 3 endings. Alright, well, I got about another hour until I'm done for the night. So I'm going to try again and see if I can get the other endings. Alright, I'm going to see if there's any way to just not go talk to Grandma. Wait, I want to go pet the kitty first. Hi, Mr. Mittens. Alright, that doesn't do anything. I think I played with everything else in the room before. Yeah. Play with the blocks. Touch the lamp. Alright. There's my sleepy birthday boy. Got all tuckered out playing with the cat. Haha. Why don't you stay in here and play while I go finish up your special birthday dinner? I'll call for you when it's done. Alright, I'm gonna go pet this other cat. Hi, Twinkle Toes. We apparently just live in a void because there is nothing outside the window. Books Mom likes to read, gardening and cookbooks mostly. A picture of me. I want to watch a movie. Guess I'm just gonna throw blocks all day. Oh look, another picture of me. Oh, that one doesn't have a caption with it. Maybe it's not me. Oh, I'm just stuck in here. How old am I? I mean, I guess I'm probably not very old. Go get Grandma. I don't want to go get Grandma. She can miss me blowing out all the candles for all I care. I really don't want to go get Grandma. I'm going to see if I can just go, like, play with other stuff. And then go back and be like, Grandma didn't want to come. Nope. I do kind of feel like for a text-based game, they probably should have picked a font that was easier to read against their background. But I like the little musical notes instead of just silence. If you can't have a voice actor, that's a really kind of a more fun way to do it. I really don't want... I think I probably have to kill the cat to get one of the endings, and that really does not make me happy. I didn't think it was that kind of game. I mean, it is a horror game, but, like, I don't like when they make you kill pets just unnecessarily. Okay, here comes Grandma. It's my good boy. Ugh. Hi, Grandma. My good boy. It's your birthday, isn't it? Yeah. You know how your grandma loves your birthday. Thanks, Grandma. Haha. I've left you a present in the hall, my good boy. Go get it. Ugh. Alright. I'm gonna see if I can go... I don't think it lets me go to the kitchen. Wonder what happens if I walk in here and don't kill her. Do it. No. Just let me go to the kitchen. Alright. I gotta do it, and I don't like that it's making me do this, but I literally see no other way to progress. Can I kill the teddy bear and then go back and be like, hey, Grandma, I did it? Oh, all the text is red now. What happened? I clicked the toy box instead. Oh. Oh my. Okay. Clever boy. Let's play. Okay. Wait a minute. This is not my house. Where am I? Oh. Oh. And we're back to doors hitting me in the face. Whoa! Whoa! Um. Is there an objective here, or... I'm very lost. Should I move all of these? Hang on. Am I supposed to try and, like, go to where the voice is? There's a door! Okay. Oh. One day her puppet spoke not in loud whispers, not loud, but in whispers of the master and how he needs blood. Then Mindy heard it, the beating of his heart. I think this is out of order. Pick up a yellow key. Mindy. A puppet with flakes of yellow paint on it. Mindy was the first. She loved puppets, and her favorite color was yellow. She trusted me to keep the puppets safe. Okay, and then this one I think comes next. One day her puppet spoke, not loud but in whispers, of the master and how he needs blood. Then Mindy heard it, the beating of his heart. Okay, so that's why I heard a heartbeat when I picked up the knife, obviously. So whatever this thing is. I'm very lost. I clicked the toy box instead of the cat, and I like fell into another universe. Use the yellow key. Okay. Oh god, there's void things. Those things ate me in the first ending. I don't wanna walk on them. Oh, here we go. Whee! Oh, we're back to the knife. I don't want to use this. Alright, I think I have to run across these void things because there's no other way to get over here. I hear the heartbeat again. And the little pat, pat, pat footsteps. Blue. This is a weird game, but I kind of like it. Oh, that's got another weird wall. Billy was the second one to feed me. He was different from other kids. Billy did not keep toys in me, but books about biology. His favorite color was blue. Is the narrator the toy box? Are we dealing with a cursed toy box here? Billy loved bugs, inspecting them, catching them. I too grew a fondness for them as well, spiders especially. One day, Billy heard whispers from his toy box and opened it to inspect, and there sat a tarantula, which told Billy whispers of his master and the blood he needs, and then he heard it. Is that the heart? The heartbeat, probably. Billy! Give me the key, Billy. Alright, do I go back out now? I think this is a game about a cursed toy box, which is a new one for me. I like it, it's interesting. The chain moves. Alright, let's go in the red one. Oh. Then there was her. She bought me for you, but you never put your toys in me. Okay. Good boy. A picture of Grandma. Yeah, all these pictures of Grandma. I don't know if I should probably go in our room first. No, I'm gonna go in this room first and work my way back. Okay, never mind. There's nothing in here except void. Whoa, okay. Now should I go in here? Yeah, I think I was getting a little ahead of myself, I guess. Maybe I don't need to go in Grandma's room. I just needed to get the key. The chain moves. Alright. Oh, is this the monster thing? Let's kill the monster. Did I do it? Is Grandma saved? And like that, it was over. The demon in the toy box was slain. So it was a cursed toy box. That's kind of funny. Even though I'm still trapped here in this box, I hope I did the right thing. I hope. Oh. Oh, so I'm stuck in the box. I was a good boy. You were a good boy. I'm going to assume that the other ending involves killing the cat, and I don't want to kill the cat, so I'm good with that. I'm good with the endings that I got. Okay, so we'll close that one. Alright, I'm gonna try the Mortuary Assistant. I'm not sure how long it is, and I really only want to go for like another half an hour. So I'm going to try it and see if I can. It is just a demo, so it probably won't be too much longer than half an hour. If I can't finish it tonight, I'm sure I'll be able to finish it on Thursday. Although I don't know if it lets you save because of the fact that it's a demo. But I did watch a playthrough. I partly watched a playthrough of this, and it looks really interesting. So it looks like one that I would probably pay for and play the whole game when it's out. Alright, warning, this game contains flashing lights and loud noises. Please play with caution. There haven't been as many jump scares tonight as I thought there were going to be. Like, I definitely expected a lot more. I do kind of... I'm tentatively thinking about playing Spooky's House of Jump Scares tomorrow, or not tomorrow, on Thursday's stream. Maybe. We'll see if I want to put myself through that. Okay, let me turn... I want to turn the graphics down a bit before I get into this one. I'm going to put them on medium. Alright, let me just do this for now and then pull it up. And hopefully that's enough to not crash the stream for this one. Although it looks like it's already struggling. Shoot. The little square on OBS is green, so I don't know why it's frozen. Because I turned the video, or not the video, the picture quality way down and everything. Like, it should not be struggling to stream this. And it did work when I tested it on OBS. Although I wasn't streaming it, I was just capturing. I don't know if that makes a difference or not. Oh, here we go. Alright, it was just waiting for it to catch up to the lowered graphics, I think. Okay. So it looks like it's going alright. Alright, let me get a hang of the controls really quick. Alright, use left mouse button, flashlight is F, clipboard is space, inventory tab, cart. I don't know what cart is gonna mean. Crouch is control, sprint is shift. I hope I don't need to sprint. Okay, everything looks pretty standard. So, I'm going to start. Here we go. Yeah, I don't know if maybe it just needed...
Oh. No, I know. It wasn't even my fault, but he sent me home right after that. I was worried. I'm supposed to finalize my stuff today.
Oh no, it's lagging again.
Yeah, it just didn't feel like he meant it. Like, he just said it to get me out of the building. Wait a sec, I have another call. Hello? Oh, hi, Mr. Dover. Look, if I did anything wrong today, just... But yeah, are you sure? I mean, of course.
Alright, I think this one's too laggy, even with the stuff turned down to medium. Let me try low. Apply.
That's great. Thank you. I'm on my way right now. I hope you feel better. Bye. Holy shit. That was him. He signed me on. He needs me to come in tonight. Thanks. I have to go. Like, right now. I'll talk to you later. Where are my keys?
Alright, ah! There goes my tablet, which has my other screen that I'm trying to check the quality of my stream on. I can't tell if it's frozen again or if it's just my tablet, because when I tab out on my screen to look at OBS, it's fine. But then when I go back to this... Alright, hold on. I think part of it is just that the app is not... It doesn't really show me in real time what my stream is doing. But I do think that this one is probably just lagging a lot. So I'm going to save this one for recording rather than streaming. It's going to have to be like Phasmophobia, where I can use this one to record, but I can't stream it for whatever reason. My signal just doesn't support it, I think. So that's kind of a bummer, because I do really want to play that one. I'm going to have to figure out how to do the YouTube thing, how to edit my videos for YouTube, because I do want to play that one. It's just not going to work for streaming. Let me try pulling this one up again. Oh, yay, it's working now. Okay, so this is another one that should be fairly short. I don't even know that it has an end to it. But it's got jump scares. So let me make sure that my stream is unfrozen before I start another game. It's catching up. It looks like it's getting there because I closed the game out and I don't see the game on the screen anymore. So all right. Okay, everything looks good now. I think. Oh no. What happened to the picture? Hold on. I think when I switched the window for the game to full screen, it readjusted itself, so I need to shrink it back down. It would not be a Spooky Doll Lady stream without a few technical difficulties. So, we should be good to go now. Alright, I am anticipating that this one's gonna scare me. I'm ready for it. It's gonna happen. Window mode to fix if this happens. I don't know if that's gonna happen for me or not. Put the mouse sensitivity up a little. Alright. Okay. Playing document 087 oh, I missed. Alright, well, I don't think that's important. This is SCP 087, which, if you don't know, the SCP universe is like, it's a massive community project, essentially, where people create these creatures and places and anomalous events, and they write documents about them and they post them on the SCP database. And SCP-087 is a seemingly unending staircase with horrifying things on various levels. So that's what we're going to be doing, is going down the seemingly endless staircase and experiencing the horrors. And SCP-087 is an unlit platform staircase located. A light source is required for subjects exploring. God damn it, go slower! Lighting sources brighter than 75 watts have been shown. The bottom, if it exists, has not yet been discovered. Alright, so basically that's what I just said. It flashes really fast for whatever stupid reason. There was no way for me to slow the text down. But yeah, basically you can't use bright flashlights because they don't work. So that's why we have a very dim flashlight in here. Essentially, as you stand on the platform, you cannot see the stairs above or below you. You can only see the platform you're on, and that's where the horrifying things happen, is in the darkness. So, alright. We're going down. Oh, I don't like it. There's sounds. I know this one would be better with headphones, but I've been too broke to get new headphones, so we're playing it for Halloween. I don't like it. Oh god. Okay. I'm scared. There's like a dragging sound. Is that breathing? I don't like it. Oh god, something's coming. I'm going back up. I think it's gonna get me anyway. I don't think there's any way to run away from this. Just going for it. Oh, it's getting dirtier. Oh, there's some schmutz on the floor. Oh no. I don't like it. Who's there? Something was there. Did you see it? Each subject reports hearing distress crying and vocalizations from what sounds like a child between the ages. However, any attempts to descend the staircase have failed to bring the subjects, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Essentially, you never get any closer to the sounds. They're just there. But that doesn't make them any less scary. Oh, the floor's cleaner again. Hello? That's not a baby. You can hear the sound of crying beneath you. Yeah! For several floors now. You can estimate that the source is around 6 flights down. Alright. If you say so. Nope. Oh my god, we're not even that far down the staircase yet. Blood on the floor. I mean, it's totally not blood. Totally, definitely not blood. Whoa! There was something over there. Oh. Oh my god. After the discovery, multiple explorations were conducted into the structure. For this was recorded to be far beyond both the possible structure of blah blah blah. At this time, it is unknown if it has an endpoint. Yeah, it's just an infinite staircase with horrifying things in it. Okay, we're going. Pretty sure this has been more than 6 floors, and we are not closer to the crying lady, which I don't know that that's necessarily a bad thing. Okay. Maybe if I just don't look off. Hello? There is a hole in this wall. Alright, I swear my brain did not immediately go to glory hole. Oh, do we look into the hole? Oh god. I don't know if I want to look in the glory hole. Alright. Got some wine for courage. We're going in the glory hole. It's too dark to see anything. They're telling us to go back. Yeah, I can't slow the text down, unfortunately. I don't think there's... Yeah, there's no options for it, unfortunately. But if you go on the SCP wiki, and oh, there it was again, and you look up SCP-087, I don't know what that was. But yeah, if you go on the SCP wiki and look it up, all of those texts are on the wiki. A loose piece of concrete has broken off and fallen down. From where? This is a magical infinite staircase that has no ceiling. Or bottom. It doesn't have a bottom either, as far as anybody knows. Okay. Cinnabon didn't like that noise. Oh, a little bit of schmutz in the corner here. Oh god. Oh. Each subject conducting an exploration has encountered SCP-087-1. It appears as a face with no visible pupils, nostrils, or mouth. The nature is entirely unclear, but it has been... we don't know what the face is. The TLDR is we don't know what the face is. It's just there. It appears and then it disappears. And we don't know where... We don't know where it comes from. We don't know where it goes. We don't know where it comes from. His name is Cotton Eye Joe. Oh, somebody spilled their jam from the infinite ceiling. I'm going to try and go around the jam. I don't want to get sticky. Somebody should tell the face. It's probably his sandwich. Whoa! Woo! There it was. The glory hole is back. I didn't want to look before, but I looked and there was nothing in it. Now I'm really tempted. I have to do it. Oh no. Did I die? Oh no. Oh god. Yep, I died. Something knocked you to the ground. The video camera was dropped. You recover, you pick up the camera and continue. Okay, I didn't die. No, I'm not looking back into the hole. Although... will the face come back? Oh god, I'm such a masochist. It's too dark to see anything. Okay. Alright. It only does it once. Whew. Okay, here we go. Oh god. I'm just gonna run for it. Oh, it's getting real dirty down here. Hell! Oh yeah. I'm going down the hell stairs. Totally. I'm booking it. I'm going down. I don't know if I'm allowed to go back up. I've never tried to go back up. I don't think I tried to go back up since I started the game, other than like a few floors when I started hearing things. I don't know if it'll let me go back up. I'm a little curious. Here we go. It's not counting the flights as I'm going back up. And I have a feeling that means I'm not going to be allowed to go back up. At some point, I think it's going to stop me. So, all right, we'll go back down again. All right, game, you win. We'll go down the stairs to hell. Ooh. I gotta stop looking in the glory hole. I just can't help myself. Oops. I'm just sticking to the wall at this point. I'm afraid of the things that keep appearing over the banister on the other side. Mostly the face. I think it's mostly just the face. I don't think I've gotten far enough down for it to be anything else. I know there is other stuff in the infinite staircase. I just haven't gone that far yet. Every time. Shouldn't still get me every time, but it does. Oh god. This is getting filthy. Hell needs to hire a new janitor. Nope. What? What is it? Oh. Oh. It's just spikes? I don't like it. Oh. No thank you. I don't know where you went. I'm going down. Oh god. Due to the results of the final exploration, no personnel are permitted to access SCP-087. Okay. Oh, it was just an eyeball. It wasn't even a face. What? Oh, I'm gonna get all sticky. Oh man. Now I'm on the sticky stairs. I hope you fired the janitor who left this. Oof. Only observed in exploration 6, exploration 4. Okay. It is possible that it is a living structure. Shortly after discovery, subject dropped the video camera. They were incapacitated. So this is living flesh on the walls. Extra sticky jam. I don't know how much farther down I can go. Oh god, the face is just there permanently now. Oh, okay. Oh god, now there's 2 of them. Oh, I don't like it. Oh god! Did I jump? I think I just jumped. Soon after the camera was dropped, signal contact eventually deteriorated into static due to traveling out of range. Over a period of 2 weeks, several members reported knocking coming from the interior of the door. The door leading has been fitted with a 6-centimeter thick industrial padding. All reports of knocking have ceased. That's as far down as it goes. I think that's the end of it. Oh my god, that was awful. I love it. That was fun. Oh, I got a star. Good job. Okay. I like it. That's what I get for looking through the glory hole, yeah. Okay, there are other SCP games too. It's sort of like the Junji Ito games where there's like an entire universe and several of them cross over. I don't know that there's any other good free ones. That one I was told to play when I first started my channel, and I haven't yet because I knew it was kind of jump scary. um, and I was kind of, truthfully, I was avoiding it a little bit because it's kind of scary. But it was fun. I liked it. I don't know if I can pull up. Let me see if I can pull up the SCP wiki page since I got about 10 more minutes before I want to end my stream, and then I can just... Okay. Let me see. I'd have to add, I think I have to add window capture. Okay. Oh, perfect. It's on the right window. So let me try pulling this one fully out, minimize this, and go to... Oops, I broke it. Window capture. There we go. Okay. So let me move this over here. And then I will read it briefly. So this is what this game was based on. SCP-087 Object Class Euclid, which means it's... I think Euclid is dangerous but contained, essentially, because it is pretty well contained. They lock the door and nobody goes in there anymore. SCP-087 is located on the campus of Redacted. The doorway leading to SCP-087 is constructed of reinforced steel with an electro-release lock mechanism. It has been disguised to resemble a janitorial closet consistent with the design of the building. The lock mechanism on the doorknob will not release unless blank bolts are applied in conjunction with counterclockwise rotation of the key. The inside door is lined with 6 centimeters of industrial foam padding. Due to the results of the final exploration, see document 087-4, no personnel are admitted to access SCP-087. So that's the text that played at the end there that basically says that we locked it up. Nobody goes in here anymore because everybody who goes in here dies. SCP-087 is an unlit platform staircase. Stairs descend on a 38-degree angle for 13 steps before reaching a semicircular platform of approximately 3 meters in diameter. Descent direction rotates 180 degrees at each platform. The design of SCP-087 limits subjects to a visual range of approximately 1.5 flights. A light source is required for any subjects exploring SCP-087. Oh, I just realized my screen is kind of cutting off some of the images here. So if I scroll back up, there's that. I think that's showing all of it. It's hard to tell on OBS what you guys are seeing and what I'm seeing. So, all right, everything should be on there now. Okay, where was I? A light source is required for any subject exploring SCP-087, as there are no lighting fixtures or windows present. Lighting sources brighter than 75 watts have been shown to be ineffective, as SCP-087 seems to absorb excess light. So essentially, you can go in there with a bright flashlight, but it'll give you dim light no matter what. Like, you won't be able to see past the platform that you're standing on. That's it. Subjects report and audio recordings confirm the distress vocalizations from what is presumed to be a child between the ages of blank and blank. The source of the distress calls is estimated to be located approximately 200 meters below the initial platform. However, any attempts to descend the staircase have failed to bring subjects closer to the source. The depth of descent calculated from exploration for the longest exploration is shown to be far beyond both the possible structure of the building and the geological surroundings. At this time, it is unknown if SCP-087 has an endpoint. So that section basically describes that it's kind of like, I hate to say it's like a TARDIS, but it is like a TARDIS because it sort of exists in like a pocket universe. You go through the door and there's a lot more steps than should be able to be there, and you just keep going forever. SCP-087 has undergone 4 video-recorded explorations by Class D personnel. Each subject conducting an exploration has encountered SCP-087-1, which appears as a face with no visible pupils, nostrils, or mouth. The nature of SCP-087-1 is entirely unclear, but it has been determined that it is not the source of the pleading. So, they don't know where it's coming from, but it's not making the creepy crying sounds. Subjects exhibit feelings of intense paranoia and fear when faced with SCP-087-1, but it is undetermined whether said feelings are abnormal or simply natural reactions. Having just gone in that staircase, that is a natural-ass reaction. If you see that and you don't get scared and paranoid, there's something wrong with you. Addendum: over a period of 2 weeks following Exploration 4, several members of the staff and students from their redacted campus reported knocking at a variable rate of 1 to 2 seconds per knock coming from the interior of SCP-087. The door leading to SCP-087 has been fitted with a 6 cm thick industrial padding. All reports of knocking have ceased. Authorized personnel may refer to documents 087-1 through 087-4 for transcripts of the explorations 1 through 4. So I'm not going to read through all of those just because they're kind of long. But it's essentially audio transcripts of the people that went through the staircase and, went on the little journey that was in the game. So if you want to check that out, it is pretty interesting. I do like these SCPs. I think there are some that are really overrated, and I think this honestly could be one of them, except for the fact that they've turned it into such a stupidly fun game that it kind of makes it just makes it more interesting, because this one on its own isn't particularly interesting. There are some that are really cool. There's one, I don't remember the number of it, but it's Here There Be Dragons, and it's kind of an interesting little fantasy story with a bit of a sad ending, so that's probably one of my favorites. The Tickle Monster is kind of a fun one. It's just this blobby creature that just makes everybody around it very happy. Obviously just looking at a cute, happy creature makes people happy, but it makes people, like, inexplicably happy. So they've done experiments where they've sent the Tickle Monster into the cells where they have locked up much more dangerous creatures. And several of them were just like, oh my god, get this thing away from me. What is happening? We're just totally freaked out by it because it's just like this happy, lovely thing. And they're like, no, I don't like this. I don't want to be happy. Take it away. So they do use the Tickle Monster actually on occasion to treat people who have been traumatized by other creatures as well, which I think is really funny. Trying to think what are some other good ones. There's the SCP Containment Breach game, which has a lot of them that are just kind of fun as, like, movie monster kind of creatures. They're not particularly interesting, but they do make for fun video game enemies. But yeah, there's literally hundreds of these things. It would take years to read through all of them. There are some that are more popular than others, and I don't understand why. And then there are others that are very popular, and I do get it, because they're genuinely interesting little short stories. Most of them they're published anonymously, I think. And this is actually kind of a problem, because there's a guy in Russia who's trying to monetize and copyright all of the SCPs because of the fact that they're published anonymously. But they're not published on the site anonymously, if that makes sense. Like, the people who run the site, when the stories are submitted, they know who submits them. So it's not anonymous to the people in charge of the website. Like, they know exactly who wrote every single one of these hundreds of stories. But because there's no names put on the stories when they are published online, there's this Russian guy who's apparently trying to claim that he owns all the stories and trying to copyright them and monetize them. And that's part of the reason why there haven't been as many little indie games being made around the SCPs right now, is because somewhat ironically, a lot of the indie horror game developers that make these specific kinds of games seem to be centered in Russia, and they can't make these games because of this guy. So, anyway, that's the SCP website. I think it's really interesting. It's a fun little rabbit hole to go down if you ever have an afternoon where you just want to read some fun short stories. I highly recommend it. I can, if anybody wants like a list of the ones that I think are the most interesting, I'll put together a little bit of a list. Otherwise, I think they have a way to just pull up like a random number, and that's honestly a really fun way to go through this site. That's how I started years ago when the site first was created. I would just go through pull up random pages, in no particular order. There used to be a button you would just click and it would take you to a random SCP. Yeah, right here, random SCP tail page. So if you hit random SCP, it just takes you to any random SCP. And they're all fairly short. Like, this is generally the length that they are. Trying to randomly pull one up that is interesting is kind of hard. No. It keeps giving me this one. I think object class Thaumiel is impossible to contain, so those are like the really dangerous ones. Safe doesn't always mean that it's not dangerous. It generally just means that it is very well controlled and nobody can get to whatever it is. 521. 521 is to be stored in Okay, 521 is to be stored in secure items locker 15 at site 39. The battery level of the GPS beacon attached to SCP-521 should be checked monthly with a new module fitted as relevant. The steel plate covering the letter slot of SCP-521 is to remain in place outside of authorized testing. Yeah, I don't think this is a super interesting one. So it always gives you how it's to be contained first, then a description of what it is, and then sometimes there's addendums with agents who have examined it or done experiments with whatever it is. This one, SCP-521 is a red post box of a design commonly used in the United Kingdom by Royal Mail. Retrieved from redacted England. Test results show SCP-521 does not differ in composition from a standard post box of the same design. SCP-521-X refers to the items received during activation of SCP-521. See below for more information. SCP-521-X are to be denoted numerically and stored per procedures as above when retrieved. When a letter defined here as a piece of paper contained within a suitable addressed envelope, is inserted through the letter slot, the anomalous effects of the object will activate. No other items inserted will cause activation. All letters must be addressed from one subject to another directly. Letters sent from a singular subject to a company or representative of a company do not cause SCP-521 activation or vice versa. Up to 24 hours after time of posting, regardless of stamp value used, the posted item will arrive at its destination along with any other standard mail items. The postmark on the envelope is not that of the Royal Mail Company, but one similar to redacted. However, the original letter posted will not be found inside the envelope, instead replaced with an instance of SCP-521-X. SCP-521-X appear to be letters written during periods of conflict, often addressed from combatants to family members or friends. Comparison of historical records places the bulk of SCP-521-X items as occurring during World Wars I and II. See Addendum 521-E for examples. An exception is SCP-521-27. See Addendum 521-7 for more information. So this one is basically just a mailbox that changes whatever letter you put into it to a random letter that was written by somebody in World War One or World War Two to their family. So it's not the most interesting one. Some of them are just like strange little things like that. 1157. Okay, so this one is a little bit more interesting. This is a dude who is a Caucasian male with brown hair and blue eyes. The subject's anomalous nature was first discovered when an instance designated SCP-1157-1 surrendered to the local police, claiming to be a member of a terrorist cell. When a bifurcation event occurred while he was in police custody, the subject was brought to the attention of the Foundation and transferred to Sector 7 for containment and study. At intervals of approximately 4 weeks, all instances will undergo a simultaneous bifurcation event at 3:08 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, while this guy sleeps, each subject will split into 2 identical instances. The event is accompanied by a burst of light and energy which disables any recording devices. Any clothing or other items worn will be deposited on the bed underneath the subjects. So basically, this is just a dude who splits in half. Not in half. He splits into 2 copies of himself every 4 weeks at 3:08 a.m. for no apparent reason. He's multiplying, and they don't know why. So he's being contained to try and figure out to stop this, essentially, and figure out what the hell's going on with this guy. Based on subject interviews at the time of his initial detention, at least 5 bifurcation events had already occurred. So he'd already divided 5 times. So, like, this guy, there's just exponentially more and more copies of this man walking around the world every time. Because not only does he split into 2 copies, every existing copy of him splits in 2. So this is one of those that it's just kind of funny. Like, it's not like super duper interesting, but it's kind of an amusing read. 3681. No, this isn't a really interesting one. It keeps giving me 1157. And his object class is Keter. Keter is difficult to contain, if I'm remembering correctly. Difficult to contain, I assume, because the dude keeps multiplying, and they have not, as of yet, been able to stop it. What is this one? Claims to be a salesman specializing in the sale of object classes. Will aggressively attempt to contact Foundation personnel who are in the middle of creating new SCP files, hacking into secure lines, smuggling letters into their internal site mailboxes, or through sheets of paper wrapped around bricks that are then thrown through the nearest window. SCP-2212-J will attempt to sell researchers 1 or more containment classes for an anomaly they are currently in the process of making a file for, telling them that these new classes will really get some eyes on your skeptic. While junior researchers tend to accept or refuse on a case-by-case basis, there appears to be a disproportionately higher amount of sales made to senior personnel, with classes such as Hymal, Apollyon, and Archon appearing in a number of files by senior staff. So this guy is basically a super aggressive salesman who just sells the Foundation personnel new classes to put on their documents, which doesn't mean anything. Object class available for only 12 payments of $149.99.99. So yeah, some of these they're literally joke SCPs. Like, this is the SCP equivalent of a shitpost. And this is one of the reasons I really like just hitting the random one, because it does take you to, like, stupid things like this that are always, they're generally good for a laugh. Alright, so it is now coming up on 11:45, so I'm I'm going to close out of that for the night because I could honestly just like hit the random button and keep going through those all night. But yeah, that's the SCP wiki, which is what spawned that last game. I definitely think it's worth checking out. Yeah, there are actually several SCPs that are like very reminiscent of either Doctor Who creatures or like they even um reference the fact that they are similar to Doctor Who aliens in their documents, which I think is really amusing. Um some of them are entire planets, which feels very much like a Star Trek or a Doctor Who kind of an episode. So yeah, it's a fun way to just kill an afternoon, just reading these really short little stories. And I do enjoy the format. I know it's not for everybody, but I think it's kind of an interesting way to tell stories that isn't used very often, to do it as like, here's a research document on something weird we found. Um, yeah, so there's that. I may see if I can find more SCP games to play, but I feel like there haven't been that many recently. They were all like several years ago when the website first started getting popular, that they made a bunch of games. So I'm not sure how many of them are going to work now. I'm not sure how many of them uh still have any developers looking at them and keeping them up to date and everything. Uh but if I can find some more, I think they would be really fun to play on the channel on other game nights, and then I can link the document um, when I repost it to YouTube. And I'm going to stop rambling now because it's coming up on 11:45. I do have to start getting ready for bed. Um, my nose is starting to get stuffy, so I know it's time for my allergy medicine before bed. Uh, as I'm sitting here next to a rabbit that eats hay that I'm very allergic to. Okay. So that's gonna be it for tonight. Um, because I didn't get to my art stream today, I'm going to do that tomorrow, and then I'm going to do another game stream on Thursday. So it's gonna be 3 streams this week instead of 2. That's the plan anyway. I'm hoping I'm gonna feel up to it. So, sorry, my phone's going off. I need to stop looking at that and just close out of this for the night. Stop. Oh my god. My phone is like blowing up all of a sudden. I'm really mad. I cracked the, I don't know if it probably won't show on camera. Yeah, I cracked the screen protector. I don't know how that happened. I had it sitting face down on my kitchen table and it was fine when I set it down. And then I picked it up a few hours later and I looked at it and it's cracked and I don't know what happened. But thankfully it's just the screen protector. It's not the screen. So I think I'm going to order another one on Amazon. And then when that comes, just pop this one off and replace it. Anyway, now that I got it to stop blowing up. Yeah, so 2 more streams this week is what I have planned. Because it's Halloween. And I want to do extra spooky stuff. So yeah, tomorrow will be afternoon art stream. Thursday will be more scary games. I have a few more lined up. I'm gonna test them tomorrow and make sure that they all work and everything. So I may or may not do one on Halloween. I don't think I will, just because I usually do a movie marathon on Halloween, and even though like I can't have people over for a movie marathon, I kind of still want to do it, just for tradition's sake. So I probably won't do one on Halloween. Thursday will kind of be my unofficial Halloween stream. So I do have games planned that they're a little more scary than the games that I would normally play because I don't like really, really scaring myself. But for everybody else, on Halloween, I will do it. I gotta find my bat onesie too, so I can wear my bat onesie for my Halloween stream. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that for Thursday. I have no idea what I'm going to do for tomorrow. I still have figurines from that kit that I think I may paint on stream tomorrow. So, all right, with that, I'm going to head off for the night. So, good night. Thank you for watching. Cinnabon has just settled herself in for the night. You want to say good night?